Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of The Suited Shootist. I'm working on a video for the Filster Enigma, but it's taking a little bit more time, and I really want to make sure that I'm doing it justice so that it's not just another Filster review out there that doesn't really address what some of the other folks have already touched on. So keep tuned, and I'll probably be putting that out next week. And hopefully by that point, the next batch of them will have dropped as well, so more people can avail themselves of that information. So given that, what I wanted to talk about today was another one of the popular tropes within the gun space that you hear people regurgitate, and if you follow the channel for any appreciable period of time, you'll know kind of the crusade that I have against the idea that you have to dress around the gun. I'll link to that video below as well, just so that you can kind of get a feel for where I'm coming from if you haven't seen it already. So, given that, the other one that I think gets tossed around a lot without appropriate consideration is, it's not the odds, it's the stakes. It's both. Here's why. If it were truly the stakes over the odds, then the people that subscribe to this would be living the most dull, risk-averse lives they possibly could. They would have an incredibly fortified home. They would have an incredibly safe vehicle that they spent as little time in as possible. They would be in the peak of their physical fitness and health. They would never consume alcohol, and they would likely be missing out on a lot of enriching life experiences. So it's a consideration. But you can't go about life like that. You see people regularly making fun of the helicopter parents that all but bubble wrap their kids so that when they get sent out into the world, no harm could possibly come to them. And it's that same extreme of the line of logic. And that's the part that I find a little frustrating. Now, I will say this, and then this is a big caveat. I have heard some very well-respected, high-level instructors employ this phrase. And this is in no means an attempt to trash or diminish anybody in that capacity, because of the folks that I've interacted with, they're typically kind of high thinkers to the point where they understand the contextual limitations of it. Generally, when the people that I respect invoke that phrase, it's because what they're trying to do is offset a certain degree of laziness and thoughtlessness on the side of the carrier. So as long as it's in that context, that's the part that we just got to keep in mind, because there is a very dramatic difference between somebody who doesn't truly internalize the gravity and the responsibility of carrying a firearm on a regular basis, and the person who is trying to shoehorn their entire life around a single gear set that may not be contextually appropriate. And that's kind of the two sides of this argument that are fighting each other, because I'm not a fan of limiting language, and especially with a lot of the new folks that we got coming into this, stuff like it's not the odds, it's the stakes, can very much paint this insurmountable picture of, facing down, a team of armed gunmen, and a scenario that is just so grossly overwhelming that someone who is brand new to this lifestyle can very easily become kind of fatalistic and throw their hands up and go, well, it's just, it ain't worth trying. So that's the part of this that kind of bugs me. So it being Christmas season, everybody's favorite Christmas movie is on everybody's mind, Die Hard. So that's kind of what we're talking about. is the whole Nakatomi Plaza type scenario. If you can realistically equip yourself for something like that, realistically in air quotes, go for it. Just not at the expense of the rest of your life. It's finding that balance is critically important. So that's kind of one of the things that I'm going to keep harping on, is making sure that your approach to all this is in support of a greater lifestyle, as opposed to kind of the Travis Bickle or the Frank Castle living every day to harden yourself against this fight that you're never going to have. So everybody's got to find their own balance there. Take a good long look at where you're at, do your risk assessment, and start kind of piecing together what you feel like the capabilities are that you should have. And once you have that, the gear list almost falls into place. If you have any questions on this kind of stuff, throw them down in the comments below. I think it would be a great opportunity for conversation and exchange of ideas. We've got that going in the Bespoke Solution Facebook group as well. And as always, if you haven't already, give us a like on Facebook and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's a huge help. And we got some fun stuff coming up here in the future. So hope everybody stays safe and have a good week. Take care.